1-800-449-8255. The fabulous, amazing Clark the Shark Show. The most incredible, dynamic, textured rock and roll talk radio show on the internet, baby. We hit you hard with everything here: rock and roll, politics, microbiology, swimming pool service, technical abilities galore. You will, trust me, you guys, you will not find a more amazing Sharky in this universe than the one you have stumbled upon here, right here on the Clark the Shark Show at 1-800-449-8255 from that golden EIB Sharkraphone. It's not a microphone, you guys. Come on. We're talking about a Sharky here. And, 100% USDA grade A shark. And if you're not 100% satisfied with this show, I will guarantee that you get 100% of your Sharky back. Guaranteed, baby. Because today, we're going to talk about a rock album that many people over the years have panned, kind of like Goat's Head Soup, definitely a bit like Black and Blue. But, I don't feel it's fair to knock those albums either. They also knocked Their Satanic Majesty's Request, kind of like these three albums too, but they're all different, baby. We're talking apples to oranges to mangoes here on the Sharky Show, you guys. You cannot compare Rolling Stones albums. They're always vastly pretty much different. And Goat's Head Soup, which is underrated to say the least. There's some people, though, that say Goat's Head Soup is a classic, right along with all those classics, Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, Exile. And some people roll Goat's Head Soup right along with that. Now me, Clark the Shark, here on the Sharky Show from the golden EIB Sharkraphone, the excellence in broadcasting Sharky Network. I'm not so sure if I'm ready to put Goat's Head Soup with those other great Stones albums. Maybe I am. Some nights when I listen to Goat's Head Soup, I'm like, damn, this album is so good. There's so many great songs on it. But then it kind of hits these little lulls and dragging moments where you're like, what the fuck are the Stones doing here? And you get a little confused. But, I still like that album, you guys. Now, this album, 1974, it's only rock and roll. Me, Clark the Shark, I think this is a classic, amazing Rolling Stones album. But you know me, I'm a little weird. I like weird shit, weird things. And, yeah, man, I even, there's times when I listen to this album, and in particular, side 2 of it, where I get a little bit, like I need a cup of coffee to stay focused or something. I don't know, but definitely the album after this, 1976's Black and Blue. That album is problematic, people. There are issues all over that album. And yet, me, Clark the Shark, I still accept it and I still like it. I tolerate it, if you will. No, it's not the amazing classic that other Rolling Stones albums are. But the Stones have a lot of hiccups in their career. Of course, infamously, or maybe famously, Emotional Rescue is an album where people are like, come on, you guys, you just did Some Girls. And, then the next album after that is Tattoo You. But you're like, what the fuck are they doing with this emotional rescue crap? Now me, Clark the Shark, I accept it, you guys. I love the Rolling Stones. I love everything they do. And on this album, It's Only Rock and Roll. This whole album means a lot to me. This cover is amazing. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this album a very solid 8.3. And I don't want to go much higher or much lower. I'm going to say it's a pretty good score. 1 to 100, gets an 83. It's not a 90, you guys, or any of that. But it is a very good, solid album. And if you're in certain moods, you're drinking a few or, alcohol in it, or maybe too many coffees, or smoking something, you might get in a mood for this album and you might really like it. I'm serious. I mean, even side 2, even all of it, you guys. Now, if there's one thing this album definitely is, it is a great Mick Taylor album, like Goat's Head Soup was before it. And sadly, this would be the last and final Mick Taylor Rolling Stones album. And, when they put out Black and Blue, a lot of people immediately noticed that Mick Taylor was not in the band. And the Stones had to scramble quickly and come up with something great to make you forget Mick Taylor. And they did do that indeed. When they put out Some Girls in 1978, that album was so fucking killer, it made you forget the entire band, the Rolling Stones, before that album. And you just fell in love with that one album, people. You did. Now, this album from 1974, it doesn't quite do that. But to some people, this album is really good, you guys. And I don't care about the stars, that it gets, the reviews. I'm expecting 3, maybe 2, and there's a 2.5, 3. But I don't think that's fair. Come on, this album is 4 stars, you guys. Look at this. It's getting 3.5, 3, 2.5, 3. It's a better album than that, you guys. Come on. It's the Rolling Stones. And side 1 of this is definitely classic Rolling Stones. If You Can't Rock Me, if you don't like that fucking song, you're insane and you need to take Prozac, because that song is killer. Side 1 just greets you with one of the Stones' most amazing songs. I love it. And their cover of Ain't Too Proud to Beg is killer, It becomes one of the Rolling Stones' greatest songs. You almost feel like the Stones wrote it or something, even though they didn't. They do Ain't Too Proud to Beg so good, The Temptations or all the other bands that have, dandled with this song. The Stones version is like the best. I'm not even kidding, you guys. Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Killer version. Okay, so right away, tracks 1 and 2 on side 1 are fucking killer. But then the classic, track number 3, It's Only Rock and Roll, But I Like It. One of the greatest songs ever in all rock and roll recording history. And of course, you know it. It's by the Rolling Stones, you guys. They're 3 for 3 here, you guys. They're batting 1,000 on this album. Now, Till the Next Goodbye, I like this song a lot. It's experimental. It's killer. It's got that acoustic thing that the Stones often do. I love it. There's definitely some Mick Taylor dandling around in it. I don't even know if dandle is a real word, but for some reason I got that word dandle in my head. I guess it's better than dindle. But and Time Waits for No One. Come on, you guys. Fuck. That song is incredible. Side 1. of this album is just amazing, you guys. It is as good as any Rolling Stones album. I'm talking Sticky Fingers, Exile, Let It Bleed, you know, all of them, you guys. Come on. Beggar's Banquet, I don't care. Don't compare this to Satanic Majesties or Black and Blue, because that's stupid. This album is, first of all, it's apples to oranges, you know, but this album's better. There's no doubt in my mind. Time Waits for No One is a killer song. Experimental. The Stones are trying something different on that track. But the guitar on all these songs is awesome. I don't just mean by Mick Taylor, I mean by Keith also. The whole band is really focused on side one. Now, where this album might get problematic is side two. There's definitely some questionable songs here, but I like them. I love Luxury. It's not lit up in blue, but it should be on Wikipedia. You know, and I did buy this Rolling Stones album somewhere, like probably at Go Boy Records, maybe at Peanut Records in Lomita, maybe at the Rhodium. I don't remember, but somewhere in my vinyl, I have this album, a really scratchy one, but I always remember Luxury as a killer song that I like. I don't know, I get kind of this reggae, I don't know, this little down home boogie woogie. I like the song, you guys. And I know there's people who hate that song, but I'm not one of them. I love the song Luxury by the Stones. And of course, Dance Little Sister, one of the most classic, famous songs by the Stones that they always play live. Killer, you know. You can't go wrong with that one. You know, you got all of side one is killer, then you got that, Dance Little Sister. So right there, you know in your heart and brain that this album is really good. Love me some Dance Little Sister. Great song by the Stones. Mick Taylor's fucking killer on that too. And if you really want to be my friend, you know, if you really want to be Sharky's friend out there, you won't go around like the South Bay or Los Angeles and say nice things about me. Like, oh, I know Shark. You know, if you really want to be my friend, I want you to say negative things about Shark. And, you know, I want you to hate me because that's how you really feel or something like that. But, you know, if you like me, you do. I mean, some people are nuts, you know, they need Prozac or Zoloft. They got something wrong with them and they like Sharky. I can't fucking figure them out. But if you really want to be Mick's friend, you'll, I don't know. This song, it's too long, you know, 6:16. The Stones are trying to be soulful, you know, in the 70s. It's kind of, you get kind of a 60s vibe. It's not really disco or any of that, you know, 70s style. If you really want to be my friend, you know, it's got like the backing singers. It's soulful, it's bluesy, it's groovy. I like the song. A lot of people are like, Shark, you need to see a therapist because that song sucks. And I'm like, no way, baby. I like that. And I like Short and Curly's, even though Short and Curly's kind of reminds me of Torn and Frayed and some other songs off of Exile on Main Street. Now, you could tell on this album, the Stones were running out of ideas, and they're kind of recycling riffs and progressions, if you will. And Short and Curly's could have been off Exile, or it could have been off Goat's Head Soup, and I don't think anyone even would have noticed. But to me, I like the song. I like it could have been arranged a little better. You know, it's only 2 minutes, 43 seconds. This song should have been like 3:30, and I would have loved to have produced it. Put A here, B here, C here, a better chorus. You know, it almost seems like Short and Curly's was really rushed and recorded really quick, even though the guitars by Keith and Mick are killer. You know, you gotta love Mick Taylor. When he left the band, they really lost something, you guys. And these two albums, Goat's Head Soup and this one, are so important and amazing. for Mick Taylor, but he's just amazing on every bit of the Stones he's on, both live and in the studio. Yeah, man, short and curlies. I think of French fries or something, and you go to McDonald's and you get small fries, and there's hardly any fries in there, and the ones that are burnt. And that's how short and curlies is. It's just 243. It could have been better. It could have been longer. But Fingerprint File, to me, this is a Rolling Stones classic. It's got this funky groove. It's so funky, man. I love Fingerprint File, but a lot of people at the time and moving on into today, they don't like this song. And I don't know why, because to me, it grooves killer. I love Fingerprint File. Me, Clark the Shark, I always listen to that song. And I will listen to the Problematic side 2 of this album. And I like it. To me, you're taking a shower or something, or having a cup of coffee at 2 in the afternoon, you put on side 2 of this album, and it puts you in a good mood. You might get a little disappointed that the songs seem disjointed or disorganized, or I don't know, but it's all meant to be. It's all in all, a brick in the wall. You know what they say? Side 2 of this album could have been better, but in some weird way, maybe not. Me, Clark the Shark, I totally accept it. I like it. But, where the Stones kind of go wrong here on this album, they go really wrong on the next album badly. Black and Blue, of course, from 1976, where the Stones just seem really lost and confused and disjointed. But me, Clark the Shark, I even find quality in that album, you guys. I like every Rolling Stones album because I will sit there and listen to them, and I will appreciate what this band is doing, what they're trying to do. And let's be honest here, the Stones ain't the world's greatest musicians. They're very limited in scope as to what they can do. The drummer, Charlie Watts, ain't that great. Nobody's that great in the Rolling Stones, you guys. Everyone is mediocre, except for Mick Taylor, who is just like, fucking Eddie Van Halen. That guy can play anything. But those other 4 Stones are just, bluesmen. They're still the same guys from 1963, playing in clubs. And yet, the way they write these incredible songs and put it all together, and then they play them, it hits you and you realize that the Stones are great musicians and they're geniuses, and they couldn't be any better. And they accomplish so much for what they got. And they really do got a lot, you guys. And me, Clark the Shark, I'm a total musician, as all of you know out there, especially in the South Bay. And I'm not going to knock, Charlie Watts drumming too much. I like Charlie Watts because he's a nice guy. He's soulful. He's a good cat, man. And live, he can get up there every night and play. No, he's not that great. He's, not any better than Ringo, or I can think of a lot of guys, but I like these guys. I like Ringo, big nose and all, just for his weird, zany, funny personality. And Charlie Watts is the same way. It wouldn't be the Stones without Charlie Watts. He's just this deadpan, funny guy, and he goes with the band perfectly. Mick, Keith, Mick Taylor, Bill Wyman, and Charlie Watts. That was the classic lineup of the Stones. And there is no rock and roll band in the world that can top these guys. Flaws, imperfections, and all. The Stones, to me, warts and all, are the greatest rock and roll band in history. Maybe just because of the album Let It Bleed alone, how great that album is, but they got other great albums, you guys. And they would make many in their day. No, many people don't include It's Only Rock and Roll, but I do. Me, Clark the Shark. I love this bluesy rockin' album where the Stones are trying to do new things. And the Stones are always trying to do new things, you guys. They're always poking around and trying to expand. And I appreciate it, and I love the guys for doing it. And this album, You know what? I'm going to upgrade it from an 83. This is an 88, maybe an 89. I love this album, you guys, side 2 and all, because I appreciate what the Stones are subliminally trying to do. You know, when it's 3 a.m. and you're laying on a couch, half awake, half asleep, there's no better feeling than hearing any Rolling Stones song on that stereo, you guys. And this album, yes, it is no exception. It goes right with that concept. You want to hear the Stones, man. The greatest rock and roll band in the world. No, these guys are not the Who. They're not Led Zeppelin. They're not the Beatles. They're not any of that. But they got something that those bands don't got. And I can't put my finger even on what it is about the Rolling Stones. But they're incredible, you guys, and that's why they sell out stadiums, not arenas. These guys get 100,000 people to their gig, not 15,000. And there's a reason why. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show at 1-800-449-8255 from the golden EIB Sharkerphone. It's not a microphone, you guys, because I just gave you the testimony. That's right. I'm Clark the Shark, and you just got the word, the gospel, the truth. And really, you guys, let's be honest, the only review of It's Only Rock and Roll by the Rolling Stones from 1974, one of their greatest albums, you guys. And I'm going to review Goat's Head Soup, and we'll just see about that album too. And all these critics, you know, that knock this album, or, you know, they're getting it confused with Black and Blue, you know, but that one's not so bad either. But anyway, you guys, buy this album. If you're a young person born in 2002 and you're only 21 years old, I want you to go buy this album at Spotify, Amazon, wherever, iTunes. I want you to find the vinyl and buy it. It's only rock and roll, but I like it, baby. Me, Clark the Shark, with the Rolling Stones 1974 album. And I'm out of here, people. Peace.